type of trains coming. There is a high green, so I figured now I'm back in Thurmond, I'll go live. I've been on the Southside Junction Trail on the Rim Trail. It takes you up to Minden. Got some great photography walking, some videos there. Most of the videos I got on those trails will be on my Facebook channel called Waldo's Adventures. However, I will admit I did do two hiking videos. One on the Rim Trail takes into Minden, and one on Arbuckle Connector Trail that I'll eventually get on my YouTube here, probably towards the end of the month. Whatever's coming might be that manifest, I'm not really sure. I know one train went by already, and I got video clips of it from way up on the overlook, way up on the mountain. I don't think I can see the overlook from here. Well, not the Conso overlook. I haven't been to that one lately. I need to get back up there again. But there's an overlook somewhere over here somewhere on the Rim Trail that I was standing on, filming when the grain train went by. Of course, the video clips of the grain train will be on my Facebook page. I know there's been 3 trains that's eastbound today. A loaded coal train with mid-train DPU. The loaded grain train was, I got the grain train on video, and then the manifest. So, not sure what's coming east now, but there should be a westbound coming too, because there's usually an empty coal train that comes through about this time. Yeah, that green light ain't very bright. Can't even tell it's on hardly. Probably not long after this, I'll probably end up going home. I'll at least stay for Waldo Corman when they come off the Brett's line to the main line. I know it's been over an hour since anything's been through here. I know that. There ain't been very many through today. And I missed a few before I got here, I know that. Hello everybody. Hello bass fishing. You know, I've been thinking, I wonder how good the fish are in some of these spots along the river here that I've hiked to lately. I think I hear the train though. Maybe. I hear some kind of rumble. Yeah, that's a good question. There's somebody yelling over there about something. I remember when I was a kid in grade school, the Instant house burnt down. I came down here once with my grandma and my uncle when I was like very young in the early 90s. And then a few months later it burnt down. That was a long time ago though. Try not to move around too much because I might lose signal. I hear something, but I can't tell if it's the train or not. Well, the rumble's not getting any louder. It might be that electrical equipment, because that box there has a light hum to it. I think that's what I'm hearing. Say I'll probably go live long enough to get this one train, and then after this train goes by, I'll have to make a phone call or two. If I get any more trains, I'll upload after this, and I'll upload them later. I can't make any promises, but we'll try my best to at least do one live stream a week. I'm going to try my best to. Even if I just sit at home in my YouTube studio and just come up with a subject to talk about, which I'll probably have to do when the weather starts getting really cold. But I'll still get out and film when I can. You can hear the river in the background, and I'm trying to tell if I can hear the train. Afraid to move a whole lot because when I move a lot here, I have a tendency to lose service and lose connection. Things like I don't go past the Make One house. Well, there's a little bit of interest in this Berry Mountain Road. I know there's some houses up there. People still live up there. And there's a lot of woods and wilderness. So much of Berry Mountain Road is just woods and wilderness. You literally get deep in the woods up there. And I think there's at least one farm you pass and a few old coal camp houses. And surprisingly, people still live in some of those houses up there. Of course, you have to have a good four-wheel drive vehicle to go up Berry Mountain Road. Now, I do have a video to go up Berry Mountain Road if you're curious. Back in the summer, me and one of my friends took his side-by-side up to there. He picked me up and we went up Berry Mountain Road and came out at, I can't think of the name of the town, close to Lookout, Clifftop area, of just above Leyland. That was a fun trip. Of course, I wouldn't recommend going up Berry Mountain Road if you don't have a good four-wheel drive vehicle that's designed for off-roading. That's the Make One house. Parksville is called the Fatty Lixman house. I always refer to it as the Make One house, just because it's used in the movie Make One. Yeah, better not. I was going to go point out some foundations over there where a few more houses used to be, which you could see that was still standing when the movie was filmed in the 1980s. No, my luck, as soon as I go over there, I lose my connection. This is pretty much the max I can go without my phone signal kind of acting up a little bit, because between here and the coal camp in Berry, my phone signal comes and goes. I think I've made it as far as the sandbar before and still had good signal, which is just around the curve here. Hopefully whoever's coming on a nice long train. It'd be funny if it's just L211, which might have no more than 25, 30 cars and be gone in a minute. They still run the L211, L212, and there's been some manifests coming through here lately. Some interesting trains. I've missed a few because I've been walking a lot. When I've not been walking, I've tried to get down here and get some, and not seem to get here in time. However, I will let everybody know I'm working on a video of the RNF and P Heritage unit that I recently filmed on RJ Corman. I've been editing to get it, and I hope to get it up in a couple of days for everybody to see. I still got to do a little bit more editing and add another clip or two and have that video ready. Got to make sure I have all, because I saced it from Pax to Mount Hope. I caught it early that morning because I got one video of it up on RJ Corman when it went up. Empty, I got that video already up. And then I got a bunch of clips because I filmed the engines in a couple of different locations between Mount Hope and Pax. And then I saced it and filmed it like at least two, maybe three different spots on the way back to Mount Hope. Then I had to go to work. If I had time, I would have saced all the way to Thurmond here, but I had to be at work. I went home, got away from work, and had to run down the hill to hill. I work at the table now. Nice little restaurant in town. I'm the dishwasher there, at least until springtime. I don't think I've ever been to that fire tower. I think you can see it from the road in the wintertime, I think. But I've never been to that fire tower. I know there's a fire tower in Virginia that I was looking for one time on the road called Fire Tower Road, because I seen the sign said Fire Tower Road just off the Appalachian Trail. Make a long story short, I get there and found out that particular fire tower had been removed years ago, and the road was still named after it, and it just dead ended up on top of the mountain there. But I had to check out that fire tower if you're allowed to go to it, and it's open to the public. I know there's a few of them will visit on the Appalachian Trail at some point, because there's multiple fire towers that takes to go through. I need to do that as Q&A sticker. I think I need to do that one of these nights when I'm sitting at home and in front of my computer, so people could actually ask questions. Of course, I don't know if I can do that now or not. Well, if I'm not careful, I might accidentally end the stream. But just in case you don't know this already, I haven't talked about this a lot in my videos, but you can actually become a channel member and see videos ahead of time. I have it set up now where when I upload videos, I try to send the members first. That way, if you're a channel member, you can actually see the videos before anybody else. And then I'm trying to say see the videos before everybody else, and then I go to the public after that. I have it set up where whatever day I have it scheduled to go to public, everybody else can see. But I like to set it up where if you're a channel member, you can see them beforehand. Let me turn the phone around so you can see my face a little bit. It's not very warm out here today. It's only like the mid-40s. Actually, it might be high 40s now. It's supposed to get in the low 50s today, but it ain't got to the low 50s yet. Of course, now the sun's going down, I don't think it will. Keep my ear open. That might be the train. I hear a second rumble, but this rumble's getting louder. Because the river you can hear all the time here, and that machine over there, power equipment that comes on and off. So sometimes you hear the hum from it, and sometimes you can't. Yeah, that might be the train this time, but it's still a little ways out. It'll probably be a few more minutes before it gets here. They turn back around though. I'm gonna start walking back towards the passenger depot. There's the house that's supposed to be opening up as an Airbnb here soon. I need to talk to the side of Missy. I don't think they got a set date. They got most of the walk done, but they still got to do a little bit of walk to it. Sit there and watch trains go by. Of course, I live so close, I can just drive down here or come down here with friends and watch the trains go by. Of course, in the spring and summer months, you can camp down here too. There's a couple nice camping spots here that I recommend for camping. You got the Stone Cliff Sandbar, which is just down the road from here. You got a couple near Prince too. Got one back behind me off the beaten path. It's kind of not the main. It's not listed on the list of places the Park Service for the Park Service to have you camping at. I don't think they care though. People camp down there. They don't seem to care. The only problem is, if it's not a designated camp area, you don't have a public restroom. Of course, I've dealt that when I do that stealth camping on the Appalachian Trail, where I set up a tent somewhere on my section hikes. I've heard that rumble a couple of different times thinking something's coming. I'm used to that here. You hear different things and different sounds. And sometimes I think it's a train when it's not the train. At least it's easier to tell here than Pax. Because Pax, when I'm trying to catch something in the Canal River line, that's an extremely difficult line to catch a train on. And another part that makes that line sounding is you're next to Interstate 77, so all the trucks, tractor trailers, and big rigs going by, and all the traffic, it's extremely difficult to hear the train until it's right up on you. You'll be standing there at the pawpaw patch, hear a rumble, turn around, there'll be a train going by. course, there you usually could tell because you'll hear them below the horn at the crossing a minute or two before you get there. There's a lot of people with four-wheels and side-by-sides too. They come through here. It's an interesting looking tree. All the brown leaves are still on there. They got a reddish brown tint to them. Okay, that's got to be a train this time. It's getting pretty loud. Yep, that's definitely the train. But here's the old coaling tower. I think it's last used in 1955 when the last steam engine ever come through here way up the Piney Branch. And the little stores building, or whatever that building is used for. The sanding towers and water tanks are long gone. I do remember them still being here in the late 90s when I came down here a couple times. I didn't come down here much as a kid though, because I never could talk my mom and my grandma into coming down here much. That's the line ball's getting. Okay, watch that be the wind. Hopefully it's not going to take the train a super long time to get here. The smallest town hall in Fayette County. I thought I had time to make that phone call before the live stream, but I didn't know how long the signal had been green, so I wouldn't have been live. It's just like watching the virtual live cam at some of the different places that they have it. You can sit there and wait for a long time to see a few trains. Except that's Ohio, there's a lot of trains that go through there. It's like they're constantly going through, along with Glendale. It seems like there's always trains. I think the LaGrange, Kentucky one's the one you can wait for hours looking at the live cam just to see a train go by. What I thought was the train was just the wind blowing through the trees. I could feel the tips are dropping. That's the bad part. Not very comfortable when it's getting colder. Although it ain't that bad here, I shouldn't complain because I know how cold it's going to get later in the year. It's not been that bad of a day. It's been, even though it's only been in the 40s, it's been pretty comfortable because the wind ain't been howling like crazy until the past 30, 40 minutes. The wind started picking up a little bit. I figured whoever's coming would be here by now. Oh well. It'll get here eventually, I'll get on video. I'm not sure what used to be here. I know Thurmond Hotel used to be over there, next to where that car is parked. There had been, I think it burnt down in the 1960s. Ironically, the Thurmond Hotel burnt down 3 different times and was rebuilt. The first 2 times, the owners rebuilt it. The third time, by the mid-1960s, they decided not to worry about it because by that point, popularity was dying out and they couldn't keep it going. They were having trouble getting business because used to be people would get off the trains here and they'd have to stay in the hotel overnight to catch the next train the next day or get a ride up to Beckley and Mount Hope area, the connecting trains. By the early 1960s, a lot of people could call taxis. You could call ahead and arrange for a taxi to meet. if you knew what time your trains arriving, you could pick up the phone at the train station and tell them. It's not like Amtrak where it's supposed to be here at 9 well, I think they're supposed to be here at 10 o'clock in the morning and stuck 2 or 3 hours late. But a lot of taxis would just sit here and wait, and you get off the train, they take you to wherever you need to go. Of course, now there's not that many passenger trains through here. You got the Amtrak like 3 times a week, every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. You got the morning Amtrak and the evening Amtrak. And they're very rarely on time. So that's not the most helpful if you're trying to travel by rail. I do want to travel by rail again, because the Amtrak trip, despite the fact of being late and not the most reliable schedule, it's still fun to travel when you don't have to be somewhere at a certain time. If you have to be somewhere at a certain time, it's easier to drive or have somebody give you a ride. I'm not sure what that used to be. I need to ask Side and Missy about that. I wonder if that's another house at one time, another building. I know that concrete foundation is where the Thurmond Hotel set. From where I get, it's a big hotel. Judging by the photos I seen, it was a big hotel back in the day. You see where I don't know what they're doing all the surveying here for. I see all these survey markers here, because I remember last time I was down here, the Park Service had people surveying. Which is interesting. A week or two ago, probably a couple of weeks ago, I was down here and they were doing all that surveying. Even during the government shutdown, the surveyors were still out. I think the Park Service already probably had paid for that in advance and always scheduled it in advance, and it still happened. I even see markers across the river on the trails, so they've been surveying along the trails. So I don't know what they're doing all that surveying for. I know there's a reason, I just don't know what. I might ask about that one day and see if I can get an answer if they got anything, what they got going on. I do know they want to demolish a lot of these old historic structures, and there's no talking out of it. They done made up their minds. They're going to demolish a lot of historic structures probably next year. At least they think Commercial Row is staying, so that's good. But there's a lot up on the hill they're wanting to demolish. They even want to demolish that company store, or that old country store, I mean, down at Prince. Didn't think it'd take that long for the train to get here. Oh well. I know come springtime, I'm definitely going to do a lot more trips on the well, I'm going to try my best to do, if the Lord's willing, do more trips on the Appalachian Trail and do a lot more hiking videos. But I'm still going to do a decent amount of train videos. Yeah, I'm going to give the train a few more minutes. Hope they get here soon. Yeah, that's the only bad thing about doing a live stream track side. You'll see a high green signal. Train might be 5 minutes out, might be 30 minutes out. It's one of the reasons I most of the time, just wait until I hear the train and know in the distance and hit record. Of course, there's been multiple times I hit record, only realize a minute or two later it's not the train. Of course, those video clips you don't see because I don't save those. If I hit record thinking it's the train, it's not the train, I don't have to save those. Wherever the train is. and they'll get here eventually. However, it's something exciting, maybe a loaded coal train, mid-train DPU, or a manifest. What would be really cool if it's a Heritage unit. Eventually I'm going to get the Chesapeake, Ohio Heritage unit come through. I've missed it multiple times through here. Seems like whenever it comes through, something always happens that it prevents me from getting it. Kind of like when I try to hike into Damascus on the Appalachian Trail for trail days every year. Something always happens to prevent me from doing that too. So for some reason, it may not be the Lord's will for me to visit trail days. I'll attempt again next year in 2026. Don't know if it'll work out or not, but I'll try again for trail days. You know, there might be a train meet, because that rumble I've heard in the distance a few times. It's possible there's another train on this track here waiting, but I don't know. That is possible because there usually is a long empty coal train that goes west about this time. Well, I do know R.J. Corman's coming, so I do know that. I just don't know if I'll get here before dark or not. That I don't know. Yeah, one time I was doing a live stream like this, got like 30 minutes into it and was beginning to think the train wasn't coming because I waited all that time. As soon as I hit the end of the live stream, I heard a rumble 2 or 3 minutes after the end of the live stream, there was the train. But you got the passenger depot over there. The Park Service owns it now. Then you got the new Amtrak platform, which was built a couple of years ago on the other side. Oh, by the way, the last time I was here was about, well, actually, probably about a week or two ago. I was with G&A Ventures, I think. Yeah, I think it was about a week ago, a little over a week ago. We were down here and somebody drove their car up there somehow. They got turned around, but I don't know. They somehow got confused on where the road goes. Point that out here in a minute. Where they went up, which is doable, but not good in the car. The road comes down here, and they somehow went straight. And then they had a hard time getting turned around, but they got turned around. I think it was the time before that when I was down here, and they were doing all that work, survey work. But this is actually an old driveway, I guess. That's old driveway too. There used to be another house here. I found out from the side of Missy that one time there was another house here. Wasn't a very big house, but there was a house directly below that house. And it collapsed. It was abandoned so long, it just collapsed on its own one day. But somehow that car got turned around and got out of here, and I'm glad, because they got really close to the wall a few times. Okay, that rumble, I don't know if that's the wind or the train this time. By the way, that might be from the movie Mate one, that Thunder Howard's Carpentry, I think. I can't read most of that because it's so off you can't make much of it out. Offices. When I was younger, that used to be more noticeable and easier to read. Apparently that was painted on the wall for when they made the movie Mate one in the early 1980s, which is very interesting. That survived all these years. Yeah, one of these days I do need to do some videos on the Allegheny Trail. Any Appalachian Trail videos and the Allegheny Trail videos, I'm going to wait until at least March or April before I get back on them. The way I can save up some money and plan ahead and not be out where it's really cold. Now, I've been on the Allegheny Trail one time, but I don't think I've done any videos on it. I think I was on the section of the Appalachian Trail, the two trails meet. And I walked a few hundred feet down the Allegheny Trail and turned around and walked back. But I've watched a few videos on the Allegheny Trail. I think it'll be a fun one to walk. It takes you across, I know it takes you across Mercer County, and it takes you across the Monroe County, Monroe County, not Mercer County. It takes you across the Big Sunk of West Virginia here. I don't know where the train is. The eastbound has been green for a while. But here in about a week or so, I'm going to have the videos up I've done in the trail up here. Got a couple little Facebook reels I'll probably get up first. Then I got one video up on the mountain of the Rim Trail and one video of the Arbuckle Connector Trail that I've done. Well, between the wind and the river, it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, maybe this time that really is the train. I said that like 2 different times already, and both times it's just the wind and the trees. Yeah, that time it is the train. That's the distinct rumble of the diesel engine of the train. I think I'll do these live streams in Thurmond. That's another thing I need to do when I'm trackside and we'll do these live streams. I don't know how long it's going to be for a train to come. I could probably set the picnic table, have the front of a little tripod or something, just have a subject to talk about. And when the train gets here, just spin the video camera around to the trackside and film the train. So I should do. But yeah, that's definitely a train. Waiting to see the lights start flashing. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cue lights! I've done that so many times joking, but I've never hit it just right. Except for that one time I pointed at the signal, said I command you to turn green, and it turned green immediately after. I think that's the day the Doctor of 1960 Gamut was here. Now the lights are flashing. Took me 33 minutes before the train got here. If I knew that, I would have made that phone call real quick. Then I would have hit the live stream. Oh, never mind. I was going to take a photo. I can't. Loaded coal train. Yep. I thought this train was going to be behind that grain train, but they probably were parked somewhere waiting on the crew while they were walking on the tracks nearby. Now I think about it, maybe before springtime gets here, if we get a warm spell in the middle of winter where it's unusually warm, I'll try to spin it, do a little trip on one of these trails. come back around this way, there might be a mid-train DPU. No mid-train DPU. Well, wait a second, see what the signal does though. I know one thing before. I can feel the temperature dropping. It's still comfortable out here though because the wind stopped blowing. It's still above freezing, I'm sure. If the signal on the number 1 main turns green here in the next few seconds, I'll keep filming. Because the coal train's on number 2 main. Nope. I have a feeling that J. Corman train's going to be down here any minute now. Or any time now, I should say. Of course, it might be 5 minutes out, it might be 20 minutes out, so I'll just wait until it gets here and film it. But thanks for watching, everybody. Everything's staying red right now, so I'm going to end. Thank you if the else comes through. I'll just film it and upload later.